Welcome to Productivity 101, your podcast about productivity, growth, and project management. My name is Kamil, and I will be your host. Hi, today's episode will be about stress and how it affects your productivity. This topic is extremely important, as the stress can be the single one killer of your productivity, of all your efforts, and whatever productivity system you have in place, it can fail, because stress can operate on completely different level. So let me start this episode with two quotes. One will be from Frank Herbert from Dune. The mind can go either direction under stress, toward positive or toward negative, on or off. Think of it as a spectrum whose extremes are unconsciousness at the negative and hyperconsciousness at the positive end. The way the mind will lean under stress is strongly influenced by training. End of quote. I can't agree more. Stress can be defeated, and training, and this I will be talking about a little bit later, can bring your resistance to the higher level, stress resistance. Let's move to the second quote. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you are needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. And this is from Seneca, from Letters from a Stoic. Another great insight, in my opinion. Like, Seneca's words are thousands years or hundreds, thousands of years old, but still very relevant. If we feel that the stress levels are too high, we probably have to become someone else. And how we can do that? Of course, we can't switch with someone else's position, but we can achieve that through training, through proper taking care of ourselves in a mental way, and also taking care of our body, which also is highly influenced by stress. So let's talk a little bit about the stress levels. So on the basic level, like everyday life, when there is nothing much going on, maybe there will be some small stressful situations, but it's like small spike and it goes away and you don't remember about it the next day. But sometimes at work we have situations which takes weeks or months, and this stress can build up, and then something else happens in our private life, and everything can accumulate together. And if you add to this financial problems, it's a total disaster. You just don't see any exit of that situation, right? So what's very important, we need to separate those areas. That's one thing. And see in which area the stress is the strongest, and I would say focus on that area, one thing at a time. This worked, at least for me, in many situations where I thought that this is the end. Like, what I should do next, what I should do tomorrow. Like, there is no solution to my problems. But of course there were, and even there was a stressful situation, I could get through it and get better and happy after all of that was over. So that's also important thing to remember. Like, whatever happens, there is always tomorrow, there is next day. Maybe this situation was terrible, but it's a learning experience, right? And what is also important to mention, that stress can take different forms, and this is very, very dangerous because it's physical. For some people, they can, bring their stress level to that stress levels to extreme. That, for example, they have symptoms like a heart attack. They can't breathe. Their chest is tight, so they feel pain and so on. It can be horrible. I can imagine that with that much stress and this kind of symptoms, it's like panic. It is panic. Or like asthma, when you can't breathe and you are just stuck in, you don't know what to do. So that's very important. Address the stress before it reach this kind of level. Even if you are at this level, there's still plenty of things you can do. So, you need to just take the proper steps, one at a time. So let's talk a little bit about the solutions for stress, a little bit more about that. So for me, one of the things which is helping me a lot is taking breaks. And it's in everyday life. When I work, I work from home, from office, but every day I take, let's say, 1.5 hour off from work, and just take a walk, eat lunch, just disconnect totally from my work problems. Because if you fixate yourself that, it's going bad, what I will do, just start thinking all the time about that. That's the straight way to elevating your stress level above what you want. So if you take break, I'm really sure that when you get back to work, you will be more productive than before. Because if you were stressed at that moment, stress is like a super blocker for productivity. So if you feel stressed, just take a break, 1 hour, relax, get some air, breathe, and get back to work, and everything will be fine. At least it will be much better than it was. Second thing, meditation. I haven't practiced this one a lot recently, but when I did, my stress levels were minimal. Even that at that time, I had like super stressful situations. At that time, I lost my job. I took a credit for apartment. Crazy things were happening. And meditation drastically changed the situation, drastically helped. So one of the things, if you are very stressed, find this 15 minutes a day for meditation. It doesn't need to be, super spiritual. There are now tons of applications which allow you to meditate. I'm not very big fan of like super spiritual guided meditation. But it's powerful. It's powerful if you find the one which doesn't disturb you in any way, and it's like the most natural or neutral, and you can repeat it every day. Then it will bring you massive effects. The other thing, just get in contact with nature. Just, I don't know, go to the park, forest, whatever, and just leave the city behind for a moment. That's super important. And during the weekend, just make a break, at least one day, and get in contact with nature. And this itself can help a lot. Another thing you can try is Wim Hof method. So deep breathing. he's also recommending cold showers, cold baths. I'm not super big fan of doing cold showers every day, especially during winter. In my case, at least, it increases chance to getting some kind of infection, virus, or whatever, just cold. So I like to do cold showers when it's summer, it's super hot, and I just need to cool down. That worked really nice for me. I did proper ice bath in frozen river last year in Estonia, and it was amazing experience. But doing everyday cold showers, maybe too much. Maybe it's for you, but for sure I'm feeling it's not for me. So, every person is different. What else you can do? Warm baths, especially with like Epsom salt or some other things. This works really well. But this is kind of standard way. Like for sure you know about this. Another thing, avoid caffeine. Many people may think like, oh, I'm stressed, I will just drink a coffee. No, it will elevate this state you are in, most probably. Like in most cases, I have seen like when someone is stressed and they drink coffee, their emotion will be harder to take care of. That they will more easily lose control over their emotions, and it's very direct way to elevating the stress level. Because if when people are getting emotional, they kind of starting losing the control, and when they feel that they are losing control, they becoming stressed, and when that happen, then only like longer break can save you. So caffeine, another thing, carbs. Like it's so easy to just eat a bag of cookies or another thing, high sugar, when you are stressed. But it won't help. It will again. It will act very similarly to caffeine. It will give you a spike of maybe good humor for a moment because you got high on sugar, and then when the spike will be over, you will be double down. So I avoid carbs when I'm stressed. I try to I avoid carbs. Let's be specific. I avoid carbs which have high glycemic index. You can search on the internet about glycemic index. It's very very important thing which not so many people think about every day, but it's enormously important. So another thing which I don't do when I'm stressed, I don't eat very fatty foods. I just don't want to bring that kind of this is kind of stress for the body. Like if you eat too much, too heavy food, it takes you long time to digest it, and you are just feeling like slow and maybe sleepy, but unhappy. There are many not good symptoms. So I would say that best is like light Mediterranean cuisine or Japanese cuisine, except ramen, let's say. This one is pretty heavy and pretty fatty. So those are my methods to avoid stress or to bring the stress under control. I'm really curious what you are doing to get your stress under control, and how you are dealing with stressful situations. Please leave the comment, and of course remember to subscribe. If you have any questions you would like to hear about some topic related to productivity, just send me a message, or leave a comment below. I will be really happy to hear from you. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and until next time. Thanks. Bye bye.